we in?
Yeah, we in.
All right, yo. So welcome to part 2, and this is a special service announcement because we usually don't get political on the show.
No. Well, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. There's this thing called like whitewashing. Mm-hmm. Okay, which it originally happened with Russian oligarchs. Okay, where when guys were leaving Russia, they were leaving as billionaires, but they were buying sports teams, buildings. One such gentleman, if you're a basketball fan, the guy who used to be the owner of the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay,
Mikhail Propokop or whatever, right?
Yes,
Came out of Russia, multiple billions of dollars, and was able to buy the Brooklyn Nets. Nobody said nothing.
Right.
All Russian money.
Absolutely.
When he sells the Brooklyn Nets to Joe Tsai, guess what he gets paid in? Clean money. So he's just washed his money. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, boom. What they're saying is that that's been happening a lot recently with Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where they're applying money to things to change their image. I'm gonna have our team do a long form video on this. Okay, but the horror to me that's what was recently happened is the PGA Tour just merged with the PIF.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the fund that Saudi Arabia has put together to purchase things.
Right.
Okay.
Like BlackRock.
All last year, man, there's so many problems with this thing.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All last year, the CEO of the PGA Tour was saying, we can't let the Saudis
infiltrate,
come into golf. We can't allow dirty money to enter.
It's that dirty money.
What's going on? Okay. There are athletes that were going over to the PIF had a golf tour called Live. There are athletes going over to Live. They were offering, ladies and gentlemen, dumb money. Just as a point of reference of how much the Saudi Arabians are willing to pay. Messi is playing for Inter Miami.
Yeah.
The same PIF is funding the Saudi Soccer League.
Yeah.
They offered Messi $1.6 billion over 4 years to kick a ball.
And he said, nah.
And he said, "No, I'm cooling, right?" So the money is
how much they were offering Charles Barkley to come do commentary.
Didn't they offer?
They offered Tiger Woods $1 billion come to golf ball.
Yeah,
guaranteed money on the PGA Tour. It's not guaranteed money. Does it? Okay, so the way the PGA Tour works,
not
Jack Nicklaus. They brought in Phil Mickelson run over there.
Okay.
They were vilifying Mickelson.
Yeah.
Okay.
He went.
The issue though is the guys who said no. Because there are guys who wanted to be loyal to the PGA Tour.
Right.
Guys who turned down $100 million, $200 million, $300 million.
Right.
Yeah.
My God.
The way the PGA Tour works is a golf tournament starts on Thursday. It runs Thursday, Friday. Friday is the cut. Do you know that in the PGA Tour, if you don't make the cut, which is if you're not one of the top players, by the end of Friday, you don't get paid? Did you know that?
Oh,
no, I did not.
Okay, and Liv was guaranteeing you money.
No matter what.
Okay.
And that's the incentive.
And they said these guys were evil. Okay. Then, what happened is the PIF went to court and they were trying to say that the PGA was trying to have a monopoly on golf.
Which is fair.
Okay. Here's the spin move that the PGA Tour is trying to have. The PGA Tour won a ruling in Europe.
Yeah.
And then they said, okay, for that reason, we went to merge with the PIF because the PIF wasn't going to stop spending money on golf.
Because they have an unlimited amount.
Because they're going to keep coming.
Yeah.
He goes to them and says, we were not going to be able to pay our staff as well as keep player wages high enough to compete with the PIF.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my issue because even Rory, because we're here, the Canadian Open is here. Rory gave an interview the other day talking about I hate live, but this is good for golf. The PGA Tour is in charge. That's what he said. He said all the money being spent, the PGA Tour is in charge because technically the PGA Tour will be the tour.
Right.
One of the most important stipulations of this year merger is that the PIF is the sole investor into the PGA Tour with first right of refusal to any additional investment, which means they can say no.
Of course they're gonna say no. But they don't.
Okay.
Why would
they don't need it?
Let me tell you why this whole thing is disgusting. I would have been fine if it was just a business deal.
But it's not.
The way these guys lobbied this last year is they brought up the name of a journalist named Jamal Khashoggi. I don't know if you guys know this story.
I've seen that name, but no.
I didn't follow.
Here's what I need you guys to understand about this story. What I'm about to say next is a horror movie. It's a horror movie. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying it's not wrong. But my point is, once you use this point, you can't unuse it. So these guys being able to merge now is gross. Jamal Khashoggi was a journalist in Saudi Arabia speaking out against the royal family.
Him. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The death threats against his life became so aggressive that he leaves. He's in, I think, Turkey, but he needs some sort of passport or birth certificate or something.
Yeah.
So he goes into the consulate.
Oh my!
And he never came out.
Which consulate did he go into?
The Saudi Arabian consulate. And he
I didn't
never
know
came
that.
out.
I did not know
and
that. That's
for
what
2
happened.
months, the government said, we don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we have no.
He
record
never
of this
came in
nigga.
here.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the video footage leaked
That of him
when
going.
they
showed him
showed a man
physically.
going inside. Then the guy came out and said, yeah, no, he was assassinated. Now, here's the sick thing. Here's the sick thing. Jamal Khashoggi was not just assassinated in there because you never saw him leave. They dismembered the body.
They would
take
have
him out
to
in
have.
pieces.
They would have to have.
So that people wouldn't know.
Would even know exactly.
You get me what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
That was in 2018, blood. These guys were lobbying senators. These guys were lobbying human rights. These guys were pulling every card in the book. Bro, they sent out Tiger. They sent out Tiger to come sing and dance for the people which we know he loves to do.
Double.
And they didn't even fight. In Muslim community, they have a term called jihad, which is struggle.
Yeah.
In the black community, we call it life. These guys could not even fight a year, dog. That's what is sick. The moment the man says, "Yo, this is about to cost me money," the man gave up the ghost and spread his legs. I have never seen none of this before in his life. The CEO of the PGA Tour needs to be out, but he also needs to be like hung and shot. Because here's the issue: not hung and shot. That's aggressive.
No, I understand.
But here's the issue: there are guys, follow me, who didn't leave the PGA Tour, so they didn't get the money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they've merged now.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
what
Phil
happens?
Mickelson's coming back. $300 million
richer. Yeah. Big
Brooks
bank.
Koepka's coming
Big
back.
bank.
$200 million
Big bank.
richer. And I'm pretty sure the PGA Tour is still going to operate where you don't get paid if you don't make the cut.
I hope they change it, but if they don't, what lesson is that right there for y'all?
Yeah, but what is the lesson?
There's a
But
lesson.
what is the lesson? Because I don't know what the lesson is.
But
What's the lesson?
It's also the fact.
The lesson is we need to be kinder to Gunna. The lesson is we need to be kinder to Gunna, B. Because we all snitching, bro, when it comes down to it, B.
You know they said in an
Austin.
Atlanta. You know they said it happened in an Atlanta club. They played the new record of Gunna, and
I don't know if it was a new record, but they played Gunna.
they played a Gunna record recently in the club. And the club went silent.
Everybody stopped moving.
Why?
Because they don't get the memo in Atlanta yet.
But the irony,
we all snitching, bro. I'm sick and tired of people acting like they're not snitching.
the irony is though about that Gunna thing, which has nothing to do with anything, but his song is #1 in Atlanta on the charts. So it's like, what are we talking about here? The 40 people in that club or the 2 million people in Atlanta? But anyway,
because I don't even hear it on.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. That is.
But the part for me is the fact that they released this news on Twitter before even speaking to all of the affected.
Bertrand, the players didn't know. Oh yeah,
They didn't know.
Players were coming into Canada to play golf.
And that's how they heard.
TSN alert. Live and PGA Tour merged.
That's how you find out.
Yo,
And these guys were doing meetings last year where they say, "Hey guys, this is not a war for money. This is not about money." Man, I never got a press conference. Man says it's not about money. This is about right and wrong.
Yeah.
You're sick.
you see,
Bro, this is
right and wrong is about the right dollar amount.
12 months?
I was
I don't
just
even know
about
if it
to
was.
say.
Bro, it's sick,
not
bro.
even 12 months.
And look, again, let's be clear. I think the United States of America have taken in $9 billion of Saudi Arabian investment
Over what?
annually.
Oh,
They're taking stupid money from these guys. I'm a Formula One fan. There's a Formula One race in Saudi Arabia. Okay, I'm a boxing fan. Saudi Arabia is about to put on probably the biggest boxing match of the year at the end of the year. So I've been to Dubai. Like, I don't know how to describe this. I'm no better, bro. I went to Qatar. You see what I'm saying? To see the World Cup. You get me? I'm trying to say. So, but I don't pretend.
The problem is the pretenders.
Bro, my issue is the man pretended because the man made it seem as if
It's not about
last year when these
like
guys
he had
had
morals.
to put food on their kids' them plate. The man said if you go over there, you're a terrorist. These golfers were giving interviews, right?
Oh man.
And these little brookhead journalists were asking these guys like, you know, if Osama bin Laden had a golf club, would you play?
would
Like,
you
fam,
play?
what are you
I know.
saying, bro?
I know all kinds of shit.
What are we on, bro? You know, I have to live.
But I think that's the lesson.
Live.
I think that's the lesson. You got to think about your family. You got to think about what you're gonna do for yourself,
I'm
not
saying
what.
we're gonna take a cultural stance. We have to hold that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The merger
You
should not
can't-
even be allowed.
But it did.
Right.
You get me? I'm trying to say? All these congressmen were like, "Oh, this, that, the third, da, da, da." If we had said, why is the merger even allowed?
Yeah.
Why they can just go come spend the money like that? Dog?
because they can do whatever they want to do.
Oh my God.
They did the same thing in England. The PIF went and bought Newcastle. Just bought a soccer team. All they brought on is one little English woman to give the interviews, and behind that is Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a soccer team.
Oh man,
Wow.
yo, they really.
How much did that go for?
The soccer team?
Yeah.
Soccer teams don't go for that much money because the operation costs are so high. So I think they did it for like $300 million. But they also covered like all the team's debt, and they're gonna continue to invest. Like there's things, but I wanted to say that because
Wow.
just because I just refuse to let people ignore that the man invoked a man who the man was suicide. Like, think how dark that is. The man went in there thinking for a passport. And whatever the agent is at the consulate probably sees the name. Some sort of
alerts them.
file, something.
Just like movies.
And apparently it was a phone call. Hey, don't let him out.
Don't let him leave.
2018. Don't let him out.
Pre-pandemic.
Don't let him out. Hey, Mr. Khashoggi, come this way.
Come this way. Yo, come this way at a consulate.
And again, however you feel, but the regime behind that now owns the PGA Tour, which
American
is
institution.
the epitome of
American
and
institution.
Not to be white elitism,
But it is.
you know what I mean? It's the epitome of white elitism.
Yeah.
So to me, when I'm thinking of myself as a young man of color, when they made white elitism sound exclusive and culture and where you come from and your class, brethren, it was for sale.
Yeah.
For
The
sale.
whole time the song was for sale.
The thing
Highest
for
bidder,
sale.
everything for sale.
The thing for
Yo,
sale.
everything for sale.
But white elitism has always been about money.
Not really. Because there's some rooms that blacks, no matter how many bees they got, they weren't allowed in the room. But I guess it just depended on how much you had.
That's because we didn't know how to play it. You know
know
the story I always remember? Going back to the 90s. You know Princess Diana, right? The guy, oh God, she was with the prince.
Oh, yeah. That
There was one Indian guy who went up there and just bought Barney's so he could sit beside the queen. You don't remember that? Just bought beer. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about. There was I'd have to Google it.
Yeah.
But he went because he went to a horse race one time. He was rich. He'd owned the Chateau de Paris. And they're like, oh, who's that sitting beside the queen? And they said, oh, it's the owner of Barney's.
He said, how much of that?
And he says,
How much of that?
let me go cop that then. Then he bought he bought like an old estate that used to belong to the royal family, fixed it up for them. You know what I mean? It's always been for sale.
Yeah.
It's always been for
It's
sale.
just that you
But
have
I'm
the
saying
right.
that if
The right.
approval can be for sale, the approval's not worth nothing. When are we gonna have that conversation?
Yeah.
If it can be for sale, it can't be worth nothing.
Ooh.
If it can be for sale, it can't be
Can't
worth
be
nothing.
worth nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
When you think about certain things culturally that are not for sale, when you think about certain things culturally you have to earn, you have to go through the experience for it.
But what is not for sale that you can think of right now?
What is not for sale that I could think of?
Yeah.
Okay, in a mild way, and we're kind of joking about it and da. Yo, Gunna's career is hurt because certain ways about how we see you aren't for sale in urban communities.
But if he's
In
able
the record,
to,
the man's lost money. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that
I understand.
In our community, it'll cost you money if you break what we think is the code.
Yeah.
People, even when people were mad at 6ix9ine, they said, I don't agree with street stuff. But he's in the street, so you gotta play by the street rules.
but all these people you're naming are gonna continue to make money
they're
and
not
have
making the
successful
same money,
careers.
are
But
they?
we don't. I mean, we're
making the
comparing
same money
apples to
right-
oranges.
maybe right
Bottom
now.
line, like we don't know. Like I just said, that song was #1 in Atlanta, and like I said, I don't really know if I consider what he did snitching and whatever. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But the point is that from when, and I don't have a problem either with Ross being a CEO having a job at a prison. I don't know when that was a law in hip hop, for example, that you couldn't work in a prison for people that are already there. But anyway, the point is that from those times when that was culturally accepted, I think the door was open. Like I think everything else under that, child actors, like even with Drake, like him being on Degrassi at some point, that wouldn't have been accepted in the 90s. I don't think they would have looked at that, him being on a child soap, that he could be one of the best rappers to touch the mic. I don't think that would have happened. But I think I think
trying
this,
to talk street stuff, they wouldn't have allowed that.
Exactly.
But if Drake was trying to talk gutter, they wouldn't have. People laugh at Drake when he talks to gutter. It's actually a joke.
Yeah, but
they think it's funny.
he gets his shit out still. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Now he does.
That's neither here nor there because
Earlier
that's just opinionated.
Earlier on, there was.
But I feel like everything. I don't know if you can name me something
That's not for sale.
that's not for
Sorry,
sale.
the guy I was
Really.
talking about the Queen was Mohammed Al Fayed.
Al Fayed.
And
Okay.
he owns a hotel Ritz de Paris, and he bought Harrods. So he can see the Queen.
Did he die
Harrods.
too in the?
No, Mohammed's alive.
He's still alive. Oh.
He's still alive. 94. Egyptian businessman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For some reason, I read that name, but I thought it was somebody else.
Classic stuff is for sale.
Yeah.
If it's for sale, it's not of value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel. If you can buy it, if I can buy it, and it's not that I have to experience it or talk with the people or feel it,
Yeah.
it's not the same. Bro, I think when I land in, like, when you guys land back home, you feel something.
Yeah, I definitely felt something.
It's funny when I land back home now, I hear like the old Black Panther music. When you hear the drums and he goes, "This never gets old." You know? And you come down to the cloud cover, you're like, yes, like there's something about this that can't be
Yeah, but you
purchased.
can't buy your way into it. Yeah.
This can't be purchased.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean? I see celebrities when they go back home, yes, they have their security, but there's a way that they're interacting.
Feelings can be purchased.
There's a way that they're, you know what I'm saying? There's a way they connect with. So, I don't know, this story for me just brought so many things. It just brought so many things into question because America loves to operate itself as this pillar.
But it's
now-
been going. But it's
but
been
And I
going
think the
down.
pillar is breaking down.
There's also
Yeah.
the question of what are the PGA players going to do?
Not saying they're going to take the check.
You don't think they're going to retire?
Because they're athletes. At the end of the
No,
day,
they're
let's not
playing.
ask these guys to be
What are
any
you
more than
talking
athletes.
But then,
These guys hit a golf ball for money.
is it?
Right.
What about the hypocrisy?
You're playing.
What about the hypocrisy? Like, okay,
We're all snitches, you're gonna.
Oh my God.
On our bread and butter, you know?
there are
That was
some
good.
who, were just loyal for the sake of being loyal.
Yes.
But then there are some who really believe that
That
we
it was
should
wrong,
not.
right.
This is wrong.
They're
So
playing.
what do they do?
They're going to retire.
They would have
You
to.
think they
That
would?
would be their only
Yeah.
option.
Their only
'cause,
option.
Yeah, to get out the game.
We'll see.
But then
Yeah.
obviously, but they need to make a living. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We'll see.
are they going to retire? Are these guys really going to go? I'm going to go be a golf coach. Forget this. I'm not taking checks from these guys.
Would there be any
Golf coach.
judgment? Would you personally? Would there be any judgment?
My judgment comes from those who judge. My judgment comes from those who judge.
Yeah.
I go back to Ricky Trivelle, Golden Globes, and he says, if you win your award, thank your God, thank your agent, and F off.
Yeah.
Don't talk about causes and world hunger, because if ISIS had a streaming service, you would call your agent. And everybody kind of laughed uncomfortably,
But
but
it's
on that day I knew what it was.
so money
Yeah.
talk.
Because if you're not making the money yourself,
Yeah.
I understand you're an employee of somebody.
Yeah.
You get me what I'm trying to say? Like, even me, if I go trace it all the way back down to companies that I've worked for, if I
Yeah.
believed in all those owners, probably no.
Yeah.
Right.
I've worked for
If you
banks
really-
before. Did I believe in everything? But I cashed the check
Took
same
their
way,
money
baby.
and went your business.
Cash the check same way.
And go eat your food.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I hold my opinions with my family and my friends, and
That's it.
But aren't
when you're gonna stand for something, you gotta stand for that all the way. That's why, like, when we say bring back shame, we have to bring back sacrifice as well. Like, back in the day, these guys were willing to go hungry and bleed for what they believed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's
do we
how
have,
change
do
is.
we have people like that anymore?
I don't think so.
No, there is. There's
They're willing to bleed for it.
There's like
Umar, maybe.
There's pockets of people. Well, maybe not in North America per se, but like a lot of these places like France where they're like revolting and there are these protests of people really sticking it to the government because of different things. Like I think it is happening. It's just not happening here. Even to some extent, the June 6th insurrection that these Republicans had.
January. Kicked off the year with that, babe. Don't forget.
Definitely went to top.
There is pockets of it. It's just not widespread, and the media will try to downplay it. But yeah, man.
I don't like.
Yeah.
Do we have Malcolm X anymore? No. Do we have
We don't even have Tupac.
Martin Luther King anymore?
We don't even have
We don't have,
No.
we don't have a Tupac.
Do we have Tupac anymore?
No,
No.
we
Do
don't.
we have Gandhi anymore?
No.
Bro, Gandhi was going
Gandhi
hungry.
was messed up though.
Gandhi
He
was
did
going
some-
hungry.
But yeah, but he did some messed up things to the
No,
buttocks.
I'm just saying.
sorry.
I'm not talking about the person as a whole. I'm talking about
Yeah, that
what you're willing to
things he
pay
stood for. Yeah.
for what you said you believed
Yeah,
in.
no,
Yes,
we don't have that anymore.
Even Shine. We're talking
Yeah,
about
we don't
6ix9ine
have
and Gunna, bro. Shine did his time, dog, and took his
Shine
position.
did his time.
Shine did his
For
time.
real.
Did he probably call him and said, bro, you're gonna hold this charge? He goes, street life.
He didn't snitch. And look at him now, politics.
Bro, Shine can't come to America.
No, he's back.
Did they let him back?
Yeah.
Eventually, but there was a long period of time where he couldn't.
Yes. But
you know what I mean?
But he has been back.
Even down to like guys like Bobby. Bobby did his time. They say, "Yo, you say something?" He goes, "No, bro. I'll see you guys when I'm done."
And
just for what you believe in.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not like that anymore.
And this is just such a public, for me, this was just such a public
representation of
affront. Because for me, it's dark because imagine if you're this man's family, Jamal's family, right? And it's last year. And you know that your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your friend was murdered. And nobody really even talked about it.
Yeah.
But now because they're coming for golf, you see these Americans talking about it.
Yeah.
Yo, you might believe, justice for Jamal. We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Maybe the first month you're like, it's a game. 2 months in, 3 months in, you start believing, they're gonna
do
I
something.
might get justice for my guy.
After all this time.
And they probably even called you. Because they love to call you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just want you to know we think it's a trial. And we're not gonna let them get away with this.
Right.
They probably use them on interviews. Because I saw that. The Jamal Khashoggi thing, they were bringing these people out, putting them on TV. Yeah, my brother, I never saw him. And then you find out on Twitter that all it took was the man to say, okay, another zero.
The zero.
Bro, the man lost the case. I knew exactly what happened.
Zero.
The man lost the case. The press release came out. The man just said, this will not deter us in our crusade to democratize golf. The man just said, I'm coming, dog. Are you stupid?
How about this?
How about
one more?
You know what I'm saying?
Because we got a bunch of those.
How about one more? You gonna say no to that?
And these guys think they have a moral victory because they're like, yeah, it has to say the PGA Tour. He goes, yeah, sure, but here's the thing.
So you got that.
My bread all the time, though, yeah?
Exactly.
I run each and every single
And
week.
we're the only one.
My bread all the time.
Only
if you want
one.
Coca-Cola to come give money, you
You gotta talk to me.
Bro, if you want Jesus Christ to come give money,
gotta talk
You
to
have to talk
to
to
come
me.
to our
you
secretary.
have to come talk to me, dog.
Yeah, me.
And matter of fact, wear their appropriate attire. The suit offends me. You know what I'm saying? These guys
it's
are
good.
talking-
It's gonna be little shit like
I can still say no.
You know what I'm saying?
Bring your song and dance. I can still say no.
Bro,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Bro, it's just when you think about the tapestry between Qatar as a World Cup, it's an interesting moment to think of the cultural war that people thought they wanted to rage, especially in America, because we all know how Americans felt about the Middle East
Oh, they can't do that no more.
or the Arabian Peninsula.
Can't do that no
We
more.
all know what they wanted to say,
You can't do that no more.
but they're still gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Bread and